have several games coming your way, starting off with the Opals and the Philippines. I'm Jeff Taylor, joined by Mick Bett, and Australia showed us a lot yesterday, their first ever game in the Fiba Women's Asia Cup, Mick.
Well, Jeff, good afternoon, everybody, and wherever you are in the world, enjoy the hoops today because we've got another great day coming up. You know, you've seen them play many, many years. I've seen them play quite a few years. For me, it was business as usual, but it was indeed a very good performance, and hats off to them. It was pretty impressive.
It was an important game because this Australia team was carrying a hangover from their quarterfinal exit at the Olympics. That was as you can imagine, a huge disappointment, and you know, admittedly, some of the players in this team played in Rio. Some of those other players haven't come to play at this competition, and it was important for them to come out and show that Opal's winning way, that fighting spirit. And there were some sticky moments probably for the first 12, 13 minutes, and then all of a sudden we saw the Australian Opals that we're used to seeing for the last really 2 decades.
Yeah, I agree. And they were held by Korea for maybe the first 10, 12 minutes. But after that, and you know, a sign of a good program, a sign of a very healthy development program is the youngsters, the young guns coming through, trying to prove themselves. And that's exactly what you have when it's male or female basketball in Australia. The development program just churns out player after player. And this is great to see.
Well, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are, folks. This is the FIBA Women's Asia Cup in India. We're in Bangalore, and it's the first game of the day on day 2 between the Philippines and Australia. The Philippines suffering a heavy defeat yesterday to Japan, 106-55. Really no surprise in the end result, the win or the win for Japan. They're the 2-time defending champions, and the Philippines, a team that kind of plays Division B, wins promotion Division A. So they were just completely overmatched. And Australia, on the other hand, they came out all guns blazing. It took a while to really assert themselves to take over against Korea, but once they did, there was no turning back, and they won that game by 24 points. So you can imagine that today, the Australian Opals, who are being introduced here in the stadium, they will be the favorites against the Philippines. Well, I'm Jeff Taylor, joined by Mick Bett, and jump right in, Mick. It's an Australian team that has been terrific over the years, and they've come out here to win big. But before we get those thoughts, we're going to have the playing of the national anthems for both teams, starting, I believe, with the Philippines. So national anthems have been played, and now the coaches and players from both teams will greet each other. So Patro, Waduje, and Tien from India, Sri Lanka, and Chinese Taipei are the referees. And we're going to have a look at the rosters for both of these teams. And you might, obviously, if you come from Australia, you'll recognize the players that played at the Olympics last year in Rio. Tessa Levy. But we're going to start with the Philippines with Coach Patrick Henry Aquino. Mick Miranda, number 28, gets her share of points. Pontejos provided a real weapon out on the perimeter yesterday. And I think we're going to have a look at the starting five: Bernardino, Cabin-Bin, Lim, Almathon, and D.
Well, Miranda doesn't get a start, and 17 points from her yesterday. You'd figure she might get a bit more reward and love today from the coach, but no. As for the Australians there, you go name your names. It's quite an array of stars, and stars to come as well. I love Alana Smith with some good numbers yesterday. 15 points in her 20 minutes, along with 7 rebounds. You like the way she plays, I know that. And how about Maddie Garrett coming off the bench? A couple of jump shots really settled her down, and I think she'll get a lot of playing time tonight.
And we don't expect to see Mariana Tolo. We understand that she had a calf problem coming in, and she may have aggravated that yesterday. But starting will be Tessa Levy, Kelsey Griffin, who was absolutely sensational yesterday, Ebzery, Laura Hodges, and Belinda Snell. And again, Belinda Snell, well, she didn't make that cut. There's Mariana Tolo. She's perhaps gone from the role of one of the leaders of the team to maybe she's an assistant coach today.
She's the collect the balls and toss them to the ball boys girl.
Coach Aquino.
There's a Coach Aquino down here.
On the left.
Tough job for these guys today. I mean, the Philippines will be right up against it. They were up against it yesterday in that loss, and today won't be any different. It'll be twice as bad, I would think. It's smiles on their faces, though. I like to see that. They know they've got a real matchup coming.
Belinda Snell and Janine Pontejos. Well, Snell, she really came out firing yesterday.
Yeah, she did back-to-back threes to start the game, and that didn't stop her either. I think she went 2 for 6 in the first 5 minutes, and that's what they need. Talk about yesterday, her influence on and off the court, and that will pay dividends right through this tournament. There's the graphic correct there.
But Pontejos, who we saw on that split screen graphic, also came out and hit a couple of threes and gave Coach Aquino's team a little bit of firepower out there on the perimeter.
Yeah, there was a 2-minute break, wasn't there, where they just hit a couple of threes, got back involved, got the game interesting. And the problem for them, they cannot sustain it under the hoop. They become seriously outmanned and outgunned near the basket.
There's no question, Mick, the Philippines have a great fighting spirit. Basketball is hugely popular there, especially the men's game, which has really put the sport on the map there. If you don't know about it, I mean, you really need to look into it. It's an amazing story, but in terms of David and Goliath matchups, Cheryl Ann Chambers, who's designated as the head coach, and Sandy Brondello's absence, who's the head coach in the WNBA with Phoenix. She couldn't come over for this event, but her husband, Olof Long, is here. But in any way, in a David and Goliath matchup, this is more like a baby David and Goliath. I mean, it's just, you can't imagine the gulf between these two teams. I know that the Philippines will come out and fight, they'll battle, but they are going up against an elite national team program, and it's going to be very difficult. Well, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world watching, folks. It's day 2 of the FIBA Women's Asia Cup here in Bengaluru, India, and it's Australia winning the opening tip against the Philippines. And already Kelsey Griffin, well, she said as she walked off the court yesterday with a game high, there's more where that came from, and she starts off with an easy bucket after the pass from Snell.
And you're going to see a lot of that, a lot of passes in the air, because the Philippines will not be able to cope with any type of height on the floor.
Hodges, one of the veterans, the Olympians, Ebzery, drives in and scores. And fast start from the Opals. Lim drives in, had a very good look, but didn't finish. Now Ebzery pushes it back for Australia. Again, throws it over the defense, and this time it's Hodges who is fouled.
Yeah, slight nudge in the back there. So Hodges should have finished that, and I think she'd be a little upset that it didn't come down for her. You couldn't have got an easier look at it.
So Hodges gets the first one in, gets it to drop, and the Philippines try to regroup, and now they are back out, and she only makes one of two. But it's Griffin with the offensive rebound.
Yeah, that's going to be a huge problem for this Philippines team.
Levy wide open. It's good. Tessa Levy.
And the good thing about good teams like Australia, they won't worry about the absence of any deficiency in the opposition. They'll just keep playing the way they play, and they'll play as hard as they can, just paying due respect to the opposition.
And they bank one in, so the Philippines get on the board, but they face a deficit. This is where you're really concerned for them at this end of the floor. How can they defend against the well-oiled machine, the Australian Opals? Here's Griffin. She had quite a tournament debut yesterday, and now she turns on the baseline.
Tough
with that little jump hook.
I mean, that's not an easy move to come up with. I mean, obviously she knew she was not going to get blocked, but a lot of confidence in that.
Lim. Well, probably for the Philippines, they'll settle for that shot.
Well, the good thing about the Australians, they'll definitely get a run because they're going to be running on every fast break. Looking to get some easy
Look at Griffin
points.
again. Beautiful bounce pass from Ebzery. I'd say that Griffin fits right in with his Opals team, doesn't she?
Absolutely.
I mean, it's like a run through in practice.
Now, Aquino is going to go for a substitution rather than a timeout early on. He knows full well he might get down big here. He'll be saving that timeout for the 5-minute mark. We're still only 3 minutes in.
Lim splits the D, but then fumbles it away, and Griffin has it in her hands. Hands it off to Ebzery. Hodges out to Belinda Snell. And Ebzery gets blocked and fouled.
Of course, the problem now, you're on a fast break for the Opals, is who do you get it to? It's somewhat becomes a point of being too easy. Offensive rebound given up again by the Philippines, and Ebzery just on point. Look at this, there's the one break. A nice little pick and roll on the weak side there for an easy two for Griffin. Ebzery went 3 for 4 yesterday, Jeff, from the free throw line. Got into a bit of trouble in the Korean game with being overly physical. Picked up 2 fouls in the space of about 10 seconds. One was an elbow to the chops of to the face of the Korean girl. Which the referees are keen to get on top of. Plays very physical.
You see Tolo at the end of the bench. She won't be getting in. Can't wait to see Mansfield get back in there. I mean, I like watching Tessa Levy play, but Mansfield also is
really well.
Good ball handling skills yesterday.
Yeah. That element of shake and bake, the playground style she has.
How does this, as we look at the Philippines come out and they take on a giant like Australia, how does this help their program as you look at, we singled out Pontejos at the beginning. Look, she comes right out and puts it in.
Nice move.
How does it help them improve as a program to come up against Australia?
Jeff, it never helps. You know, it's never nice getting a beating. But when you play against good quality players, as a player, as play there from Belinda Snell, put back, you learn things. You learn things all the time about playing against good players. You know, you learn about moves, cuts, intensity, all sorts of things. So it's going to make the program better. You know the men's programs come on in leaps and bounds, and the women's program will do exactly the same thing.
Snelly, and off the back of the iron, Pontejos gets in.
She knows she's going to get as many shots she can before she takes a break. Here's your substitute. Mansfield just sat on the bench, ready to come in.
Must have got the call.
Quicken the pace up a bit.
And Pontejos had the shot blocked. Now Ebzeri pulls up at the line and
not quite got the soft touch there. Katie Ray Ebzeri battled in and out. Nice little pull-up. You don't have to see that from point guards. Little 15-foot pull-up. Sometimes girls go straight to the hoop, looking to barrel in there.
Well, back to Australia.
Back-to-back block shots too, Jeff.
Move the ball. Move it.
Interesting, Hodges didn't want to post up there, Jeff, on the secondary break.
Hodges puts it up and in. And we're going to have a timeout called by Keno.
Well, if you're watching back home in Australia, you got to love it, but the competition's not probably going to be that stiff in the game. It's 18-4 lead.
You know, yesterday I was talking about how Belinda Snell was the link to the team that won the world title in 2006. As we see Keno, you can only imagine. I mean, what do you say in this situation? But in fact, also Laura Hodges is an important player who also was in that great team that kind of made arguably arguably the biggest tournament win.
Well, it's funny, isn't it? Because history. You talk about dream teams. That must be Australia's dream team. I mean, that was as good as it's been. I mean, nobody's really, no team's ever paralleled it. They've all been trying to aspire to that level, and that's followed on from that team. And you have to take your hat off. How good was that team?
Well, it was a team that had Lauren Jackson. It was a team that had Belinda Snell, Kirsty Harrower. And this team obviously aspires to be like that team, and they've had a lightning quick start with
your teams. It's not what you think a team's value is. It's what the team achieves, isn't it? And when you achieve things, it then sets the bar so high for the teams that follow behind you. And everybody's trying to aspire to that World Championship win.
Another player still who was in the program, played at the Olympics last year, Erin Phillips, but she's not here this year. So that's some tremendous longevity, isn't it? Going all the way back to 2006. And in fact, Hodges played in the 2002 FIBA Women's World Championship team. Now the pass inside, and a look, and good aggressive play. And Miranda earns a trip to the free throw line.
Well, I think it's one thing you get from the Philippines, isn't it? You're going to get some grit and fire. They're such a proud nation. And, you know, it's all the way through. Everything they do is sport-minded. Basketball's their favorite sport. It's the #1 sport in Philippines.
Oh, yeah, it's incredible.
And their boxing's not bad either, is it?
Yeah, the boxing, although, is the boxing because of their great boxer, Manny Pacquiao?
They've had a few over the years. Yeah,
they have, yeah.
Not as big as
wouldn't want to jump in the ring with any of those guys, I'll tell you that right now.
No. That's not happening.
I'm sure there have been a few good Australian boxers over the years.
Well, the recent one, I can't remember his name now, that just won the World Championship.
Well, good follow-up.
I should know his name. Somebody's going to write and tell me.
Well, Snell. And
it's interesting how that the Australian offensive rebounds are in there, just getting manhandled, and the referees are quite happy to call it, keeping it fair underneath there. But the Philippines team are completely, there must be a 6-7 inch difference.
Now Sarah Blitzovs has checked in with her sister-in-law, Steph Cumming. Steph Cumming.
There's a bit of a comical situation here, Jeff, because the Philippines are trying to take it out of bounds.
Absolutely.
It's an Australian ball.
Alana Smith also wins, so how long will it be before we see something sensational from her? Mansfield is in. Oh, wait a minute. What's going on?
Well, it's Australian ball. It always was, but the Philippines, they wanted to take it inbound.
Take what you can get, I think. Anyways, Blitzov.
Look at that post-up.
Just passes right over to Hodges.
That was a mismatch of the tournament, that one.
We saw the ultimate mismatch yesterday with India, with Poonam, just standing under the basket, catching it and shooting it.
That was a mismatch with anybody on the floor, wasn't it? 7 feet tall.
Look at Cumming get it, gets it quickly to Blitzovs, and again, she's your low post player, and she runs like a gazelle.
Absolutely. Yeah, I'm going to tell you, everybody's going to get a workout today, because if you get the ball, run the lanes, you're going to get layups. It'll be one-way traffic.
Maybe more in Australia runs like an emu. No, three-pointer is good from Razel Tai.
Well, Razel Tai took quite a few yesterday. Didn't go down. In practice, she was working hard. First three of the tournament. Mansfield not happy with the attentions there of Tongo.
No, Mansfield, oh, look at Steph Cumming. Oh, yes, she goes in, draws the foul. Mansfield, you're not going to see her dribble too much without going behind her back or through the legs. Here's the Philippines. Razel Tai popping that three over Alana Smith.
5 assists yesterday from Lauren Mansfield. Really loves to share it around. I think she had 6 points to go with that. Pretty good all-round game.
Kunek has come into the game. I was actually really impressed with this player coming. I mean, I don't think the stats did her justice. Her whole approach to the game yesterday was really positive and aggressive.
Now, I think she was one of the first off the bench, maybe second or third, but she only ended up with 13 minutes, so.
Which was surprising because she
absolutely,
really had an influence on the game. Tonko. Oh, Razel Tai in the same spot where she had just hit the three and passed.
Coach is saying, shoot the ball.
15-point lead for the Opals. Blitzovs gets to Kunek, who takes a little bit of a body blow. Look at Blitzovs turn. It's always.
That's a great pass, Jeff.
There's always a better shot, isn't there?
How many players might have taken that shot, but just dump it down to your teammate? That's what teamwork's about.
Tonko penetrates, passes back outside. Nice stroke from the Philippines. Number 8, Sambile.
Yeah, nice one. They can play a little bit, that's for sure. Another foul here, manhandling Alana Smith underneath. You know, there's an element that didn't used to exist when in the old days. The first big person down the floor, you don't go and post up outside the lane. You post up under the bucket, and that's why that foul's happened, because Alana Smith runs straight and stood under the bucket. And the Philippines defender can only do is just try and move her out the way.
Here's Smith, the standout, one of the latest standouts at Stanford in American college basketball. You know, the average height of Australia is 1.83 meters. And for the Philippines, it's 1.73.
All Australia? Every Australian?
No, for this team.
Oh, for this team. Sorry, Jeff. Sorry.
Pontejos hands it off, and Sambile this time too long.
Smith posting up again. Get her the ball. Oh, nice look.
Threw it just behind Kunek, I think. And the penetration and the drive and the foul. Good play from the Philippines. Tongo.
Maritza Tongo, 18 minutes yesterday, 3 points. You're going to get a little chance to get some points on the board here. She looks exhausted, Jeff.
Just 21 years of age. She's, you know, that's another difference in these teams. This Australian team is actually more of a veteran team. 27 is their average age. And when you look at the likes of Hodges, who played all the way back in
15 years
2002.
ago. I know, unbelievable. What a career.
And showing no signs of slowing down, I might add. That's, I mean, we talked about it yet a little bit about it yesterday. To put on the Opal shirt, that's about as good as it gets if you're a women's basketball player in Australia.
Oh, Jeff, it doesn't matter what country you come from. Hodges 3, thank you.
Mansfield.
Mansfield, sorry, yeah.
Buries it. She had that kind of a helter-skelter start yesterday, and then the second half, she was electric.
Well, you know, she didn't make many jump shots from beyond the 3, none at all, but that's the first one.
Blitzovs reads the pass and goes in for the old-fashioned layup.
What do you mean old-fashioned layup?
Well, could have.
I mean, there's a new.
Could have dunked it.
There's a modern-day one.
And she just reads the second pass again. See if she modernizes this one. There, she coming and drills it.
Tough shot. and now gets herself up and plays the defense. I really agree with you about Stephanie Cummings. She's tough.
And look at that. She takes the charge. Is that a charge or just out of bounds?
Just out of bounds. Just out of bounds. Great defense.
I like her.
Got involved.
I know her husband Chris likes her.
Here's the old school,
Likes the way she plays. This is it. Old school basketball. Just lay it up. Don't worry about the 360. And she takes it back and finds her sister-in-law. And she puts it up and in. And then she says, see you at Thanksgiving. Here she is now passing. And now the Philippines, Pontejos, reads the pass. An unsportsmanlike foul called on Cumming.
I'd love to see a replay of that because I don't think there's much wrong with that. Stephanie Cummings,
Well,
maybe a little tug back. That's what the referees are looking at, the tug back.
You can't grab the shirt when she's past her. Watch this.
Let's have a look. Come on, Jeff.
Like she grabs her.
Where? Jeff, where's the
No,
foul?
I didn't see it.
No.
I didn't see it.
No.
I admit, I did not see it. I'd like to
But the
apologize.
referee did. That's the important thing.
To Steph. Maybe there's another angle that we didn't see. I think in the grand scheme of things, Australia aren't going to be too worried about the call. They are leading 35-13 late in the first quarter. So Pontejos has come out and delivered, shall we say, for the Philippines. Ooh. "24 years of age, University of the East, Pontejos."
You know, it's an interesting system in the Philippines, isn't it? It's built around the high schools and the colleges, then they get the draft into the pros. At the I'm not sure what happens at the women's side, but for the men.
Look, you got two of the top Australian players hustling after that ball, Smith and Cummings. Here's Cumming. She says, take that for you, unsportsmanlike.
Well, you know, all players are the same, Jeff. They want to get on the score sheet with points, don't they? That's how sometimes they value their... I've played with many players in the old days. They're only interested in points as the first quarter comes to an end.
Australian command, Nick. They lead it 38-14 after one. Well, Mick, it's been almost all Australia in the first quarter. It's been kind of a clinic, really. Philippines have had some moments, but they have quickly fallen behind, and you have to think there's really no catching up. It's going to be a matter of damage limitation, or how do you approach this game for the Philippines?
I mean, I don't know. It's one of those things that you're in a tournament, you're in the A division, you know you're going to be playing against tough teams. These tournaments are all in the preparation. And part of the preparation is getting in shape. At some point yesterday, we saw 2 or 3 teams exhausted by the end of the first game. You know, we had cramp for one of the girls for North Korea. That shouldn't happen. You know, even if you're playing 35-minute game, you shouldn't get cramp after your first game of the tournament. And you saw yesterday with the Philippines playing, they were exhausted come the fourth quarter. So there is an element of preparation in this. Now they've got 3 quarters to get through probably the worst team they're going to play in this tournament.
What about the altitude?
Yeah, I mean, it's having its effect everywhere, isn't it?
It's affecting you and me.
Yeah.
Short of oxygen. I mean, it's maybe it impacts a team like the Philippines more because they were having a hard time getting back on defense yesterday.
Well, we're a kilometer up here, 900 meters, isn't it? Bengaluru is 900 meters elevation. So you can't underestimate it.
Well, on the baseline, and Edzeri, and She just led coming just a little too much.
Rare mistake there from the Opals on the break. Everybody was running. There was 4 players ahead of Ebzery. She won't be too impressed with that mistake. She'll be more upset with herself, that's for sure.
Well, Garrick is in the game now. I think we'll enjoy watching her play. She was, for my money, one of the real lightning bolts yesterday for Australia. She was terrific. Number 7, just getting a hand in the face of the shooter. Yeah. Is that a foul on Garrick?
Well, I think Garrick did touch the shooter, but it's such a slight touch. And she turned around and said, "What me?" She didn't complain too much, so I think there was contact. But
so it's 3 free throws for the Philippines. It's one of those. You know, we were talking yesterday about how often we see players step out of bounds when they catch the pass. Their foot's already out of bounds. This is something else that we're seeing with increasing frequency. The foul called on the 3-point shooter.
Yeah, and you know, if you watch leagues around the world, there is an element that you actually induce the referee to call a foul when you've been shooting. It's almost an art at a certain level. Hasn't quite got all the way around the world in such a style, but the game's changed slightly in favor of the shooters, and therefore the defense has to close up, and you get more fouls.
Look at the D being played by Cabenben. And the reverse layup, and Blitzhouse misses, but Alana Smith is there for the rebound.
Well, one thing is, you know, if you've got a little bit of height, and these Australian players have got some out there, if you hang around the bucket on missed shots, you don't have to work that hard to get a little putback and 2 points. Alana Smith had such a good game yesterday with her 15 points and 7 rebounds. She's going to be pushing numbers today, I'm sure.
Well, 18 of Australia's 38 first quarter points came in the paint. A lot of those were layups.
That's not a surprise, is it?
No.
That would have been in the scouting report for the Philippines straight away. Stop them getting points in the paint, because they will do.
So Lim comes back in the game. Cabenben goes behind the back. And then the collision and the foul on the defense. Is it coming? She's willing to step in there and take the charge, isn't she?
Yeah, I'd like to see that again. I think Cumming went down fairly square backwards, and the contact looked fairly much straight on.
Smith comes out. It's quite a potent 1-2 punch in that position, isn't it? Smith and Griffin.
Oh, they've got some serious bigs, Jeff. There's no doubt about it. They play hard.
Ponteos puts up a 3 and nails it.
Tell you what, it didn't take long to turn, get her feet squared up and shoot it.
Philippines cut that deficit to 21. Coming. Blitzhouse. And they had Griffin kind of sandwiched. They had 3 Filipino players on her.
Yeah, but it's not just a sandwich. They're holding in there. I think they've got arms on shoulders. There's the 3 from Ponteos. Nice one. Just turned, as I say, square your feet up as quick as possible. That's the key to shooting on the perimeter, is the feet. It's anybody steps in that lane for Australia, they're going to get arms all over them.
There's Maddie Garrick. She says, "All right, I'm ready to fire one up. Give it to me. Give me the rock." Nope. She passes over to Blitzhouse, who seems to have the bit between the teeth today. Misses. Hits it back out to Tessa Levy. No look to Ebzery. And Ebzery buries a 3.
Yeah, nice hoops. Nice movement. And that's a sign of a good team. A team that's willing to share the ball. Doesn't matter who scores. Just get the points on the board.
Ebzery comes up with it again, and then Ponteos reaches in. Well, she's gives away a lot of body mass. Watch this, the hustle, and now the Levy gets it to Ebzery, and as you said, they share it, and the end result is a 3.
Just moving it on one more pass. That's all it needs to do to the wide open player.
So we've got another timeout. 43-19, Australia cruising here in the second quarter.
we're still standing, we should be compact, shouldn't be out of position, we're going to switch. Okay?
So Australia
Off
called the
ball,
timeout.
With separation, like there on the baseline stuff, any separation, switch out. Take away.
You reckon Sandy Brondello's waking up early to watch these games?
Probably not this one. Probably not this one.
I mean, never know. She might be a night owl. Maybe she didn't go to bed.
When it's like 2 o'clock in the morning, stateside, isn't it?
She's in Arizona, so well, it depends where they're playing. Yeah, and also do they have a game or whatever.
My guess is no, but you never know.
But they've got a lot of confidence in their entire coaching program, and you know, Australia, a lot of excitement about the game as well for the men's team. They'll be playing in the World Cup qualifiers. They'll be playing the FIBA Asia Cup before that.
Yeah, I'm excited for that one too.
Beirut.
That'll be exciting. Seeing that. Now that tournament will be a crazy tournament, the men's tournament. I mean, this is crazy here, no doubt about it.
I think what we touched on this yesterday is one of the strengths of Australian basketball is they have very good domestic leagues, and they're going to be putting good teams on the court no matter what. And Griffin gets inside and takes the contact again.
Another mugging in the low post. It's a lot of severe treatment those girls are going to get. Me a few bruises tonight.
In fact, they had the WNBA All-Star team, All-Star game. So the Mercury weren't playing, and the turnover gets it back. They push it quickly to Miranda at the line. And
nice
the jump
move.
shot is good. The turnaround.
You know, a little low post move, look over one shoulder, turn over the other shoulder.
Almathon's basket gets it back to a 22-point deficit for the Philippines. They're looking to get a stop now. Good defense, good denial.
You know, that's poor play from Ebzery. There was no pass on there. Just get the ball reversed the other side, get the offense moving.
Lim, soft touch. And nice shot. So
You know,
2 consecutive trips down the floor for the Philippines.
Well, you can guarantee a lot of Philippine basketball played in the playgrounds back home in Manila. And they can play, these kids.
Ebzery from the left corner. That's much better.
Yeah, that's exactly right. That's keeping it simple. Again, sharing the ball, make sure the open teammate gets the hoop.
So timeout. We saw a little bit better offensively from the Philippines.
Well, they've hit some big shots, haven't they? They've hit a couple of low posts in the paint, fadeaway jump shots, and that's been key for them. Everything looks, they don't get many layups, do they? I mean, that's the thing. If you look at the balanced scoring, wow, a bit of interaction with the players here. Oh, they're all involved.
Take the inbounder, one trap, one and down.
If you look at balance scoring on the team, Jeff, you got 3-pointers, you got 2 jump shots, 15-foot, you got jump shots, 8-foot, you got layups, and the Philippines aren't going to get many layups.
No, they are. They're going to have to settle for a lot of jumpers. Well, there's good balance, as you say, in that Australia team. Now they easily break the full court pressure.
Interesting to see what the Philippines come out with their own press, because remember the Koreans caused a bit of distress for the Australian guards yesterday.
Good D from Matty Garrick.
You know, wide open too, just a poor pass getting the goal to the teammate.
Griffin over to Ebzery. Ebzery drifts in, puts it up.
Yeah, nice shot there from Katie Ray Ebzery, just really very direct, very intense.
And Lim kind of lost it, but got it back. And then a little under move. And look at Levy quickly in the open floor. This is where she excels. Back to a trailing Garrick, and soft touch doesn't work. Offensive rebound, however, by Hodges.
Surprised they didn't give this as an and one. Where the hold was, I'm not sure, but Hodges gets the rebound pretty quickly, gets it up in the air. I'm going to give it end line.
So Sandy Brondello, her next game with Phoenix is tomorrow, and
you still think she's up watching, right?
And they had the All-Star game. They just had the All-Star game, so I'm guessing that she's been able to focus a little bit on the national team.
Possibly.
She's got a couple of Australians in her team. Leilani Mitchell,
Yep.
Kayla George, players in the Australia team in 2014 that played so well and got to the podium in Turkey.
You know, when you look at this crew of this team here, you wonder how many of these guys will be trying to emulate those footsteps too, getting to the WNBA.
Well, a lot of them have played WNBA, Europe. They play the women's NBL down under. I mean, this is basically an NBL team.
Yeah.
With the exception of Smith, who's at Stanford. Now, Cabin Bin drives in, has it knocked out of her hands. Lim has it on the baseline. And Griffin goes from playing defense to rebounding to pushing the ball quickly up the floor. Now Mansfield, a little bit of old school layup.
Yeah, nice
I think
play.
that's what I meant to say, old school. Does that sound better?
No, I'm not sure what new school layup is.
Okay. Go back to the drawing board. Oh, nice move down the baseline and the handoff. And thought we may have had a walk there, but Animam couldn't make the shot.
And the problem for the Australians now, they're not quite sure what shots to take because Mansfield had a wide open jump shot or maybe a layup. Just wants to bring it out, make sure she's not too greedy.
Inside to Griffin. Oh, ball goes in and out.
Beautiful
Gets the
play.
rebound. Misses again. Animam now comes up with it. Hands it off to Miranda. Cabin thought about it. And her pass, I think Mansfield got a hand on it. Now it's Levy. This is a quick Australia lineup with both Levy and Mansfield. Levy puts up the three, as well as Ebzery being out there. It's kind of a guard-oriented, isn't it?
Yeah, I like it. I like guard-oriented teams. There's no doubt about it. With a couple of bigs out there, there's a lot of control.
Griffin, she puts it up and hits the three. And also Griffin, who's such a great all-around player as well. Good ball handler. Interesting.
Well, it's relentless.
Interesting
Look
five.
at this full court press too. They're going to keep the pressure all the way up the floor.
So Australia now with 55 points, and we've got 3:40 remaining in the first half.
They've just gone on a tear, haven't they? Maybe 10. I think they've hit 10 quick points here. Just increase that lead out to 32 now.
Cabin Bin and missed everything. Substitutions coming in for the Philippines. So Sambile comes in number 8. Castro, the big center, comes in. And Bernardino as well, number 3. Hodges out to Cumming. She finds Blitzovs. And Blitzovs, I mean, they are just, everybody can shoot it. They can put it on the hardwood, go to the basket.
I mean, that's what I say. If things
Multi-skilled.
weren't bad enough, you're playing against a taller team. These guys can all shoot, and then the referee gives you a 3-second call against you. It's like, come on.
Watch this. This is Hodges, and they get it right to Blitzovs. Textbook. Now Alana Smith back in the game. She catches it down low and just lays it up and in.
Just easy stuff, isn't it? Easy. Just turn and pivot and lay it up.
And she pushes it quickly up the floor. Hodges gets it to go.
Jeff, if you look at the scoreboard, I think the score was Philippines had 23 points after about 2 or 3 minutes of this quarter. Yeah, I know, it's just beautiful basketball. See, right now the Philippines aren't getting back and with the same tenacity they did in the first quarter. Either getting tighter, or having to bring in the subs off the bench, which probably that was an 1-2. If the shot had missed, that would have been a 2 off an easy rebound because the Philippines hadn't lined up.
It wasn't long ago that we were saying it was a 20-point deficit for the Philippines. Now it's 40.
Well, it was 46-23, wasn't it? So we're looking at a 17-0 run here.
Cabin bin over to Bernardino. She turns, she puts it up, and slides off the rim. And nice steal from Bernardino. Now Cabin bin pulls up and makes the right decision, just doesn't make the shot.
Yeah, Mansfield will be a bit upset with herself after losing that ball, getting turned over. And another turnover as well.
She'll be upset with that as well. Hazeltine drives in, and Mansfield knocks it out of bounds.
Laura Mansfield just looking over to the bench to see if there's a sub waiting for her, but no, she's gonna let her play out the half, especially with that scoreline.
Game's had a nice flow to it, actually. It hasn't been too stop and start.
No, there was a time when I thought that the Australian big was getting manhandled on the hoop, and that was going to continue, but that's cleaned itself up a bit.
Montejos floats in, misses, well short. Blitzovs. Look at her handle the ball. Oh, almost turned it over. Coming, right corner. And coming, follows the shot. Blitzovs has it, gets out of trouble. Swing it wide open, Mansfield. Good!
Yeah, second tray for Mansfield. Wide open. Took her time, get her feet set, and it was nothing but twine. 43 to the lead now. You might get a 50-point lead by halftime.
Lim goes in. Smith. Now Blitzovs. And Hodges took a shot to the face. She okay? Finger to the eye.
I don't know whether the ball hit her in the face, went through her hands, did it? I'm not sure.
Well, Philippines ball here with 40 seconds to go in the first half.
Stay up.
Well, it's been a right tough start here for the Philippines in this tournament. They've had to play Japan, the two-time defending champions, and now they've come out against the powerhouse Opals.
Yeah, I don't know. They're going to get an easy team here. It's even watching North Korea play yesterday. That's not going to be an easy game.
Well, no, they play Korea, don't they? Or is it North? Yeah, they play Korea.
They play Korea next. But even if they get to the relegation game,
okay, I got
which could be against North Korea, that's not going to be easy for them either.
So the basket counts right at the halftime buzzer, right before. So Australia will take a 68-23 lead to halftime. Well, pretty convincing performance there in the first half by Australia. They are on top at halftime, 68 to 23 over the Philippines. Come back for the second half, starts
Inbounder, one trap, one and down.
just under 14 minutes.
Doesn't matter if it's in that. Okay? 1, 2, 3.
Welcome back, everyone, to Bengaluru. Second half action ready to start here. Philippines versus Australia. This is game 1 of day 2. Australia yesterday had a convincing victory over Korea 78-54. They're in command today, 68-23 over the Philippines, 45-point lead at the break. I'm not sure what was said at halftime for the Australians, but the Philippines would have been trying to find ideas of at least getting some points on the board as they move to the second half, and obviously further on in this tournament too. Leading scorers in the game, as our stats aren't very good right now, but we'll try and get them to you as soon as we can. The Philippines players are on the floor straight away. They're starting 5. Joining me now is Jeff Taylor, just back from his coffee break.
Actually, I was looking for the stories behind the story, Mick. And
Elaborate for
spilled
us.
some coffee on somebody. Well, hello, welcome back to Bengaluru, India. It's the start of the second half. The Australian Opals cruising 68-23 over the Philippines, who are playing hard, but going up against the best teams in the world. And the dump down low, just like they started in the first half. Alana Smith feeds Kunik, and a quick 2 for the Opals.
Yeah, nice little set play coming out of the break there, Jeff. Even the difference in size is so eminent that even a bad pass would have got through there.
Lim's shot short, and nice pass up ahead to Kunik, who misses, but Smith hustles down and scores with a putback.
Nice of Kunik to give Alana Smith some stats, offensive rebound and a 2 points.
Pontejos passes it back out. Bernardino gives it back to Pontejos. Pontejos launches it and drills it, and if there's anything we've discovered about this Filipino team, boy, Pontejos knows how to hit the 3-pointer.
Oh, more than that, Jeff. There's a 3 from
Blitzovs.
Yeah, Blitzovs comes in. You know, Pontejos, twice he set a defender up with a little jab step to bring her out, give some space for the 3. So you can see the playground side of this Philippine team, and they're all, you know, the amount of basketball they play in the schools is quite a lot. They just don't really have the size to compete at this level.
Well, you know, it's interesting. Australia have been pretty dominant in their 2 games, and maybe not that much of a surprise, but we're pretty sure they're going to have a tough foe waiting in the shape of China, who are very impressive in their game against New Zealand.
Absolutely.
And of course, Michelle Timms, the Australian legend, is on that coaching staff. And she would she find herself in an interesting position in that game? I don't think so.
No, I think you...
oh, another
right.
3 from Cabin Ben. And what about the Philippines coming out, stroking the 3 here in the start of the 3rd quarter?
Well, we saw the same in the second quarter, didn't we? But they didn't move on from there. They had 9 points quickly. And that's the way it stayed. It is the 3 from Cabin Ben, I think. Just a little put up. Nobody really closes her out. But, you know, when you're 45 points up, you're not going to be closing out with that much intensity.
This is where they've got to get it done. They've got to get it done on the defensive end. Just really outsized, but Blitzovs, boy, she has been terrific.
Well, great shooting potential. You know, when you're that size and you can put the ball on the floor and shoot a jump shot, you're very, very valuable. Australians happy just to switch every screen to...
Pontejos, another 3. And the Philippines doing what they need to do right now on offense anyway. And Blitzovs this time drives in, overshoots it. Thought she might get a call, but the ball goes back over to the Philippines. It's showing a little bit of fight.
I think Kunik was struggling the fact that it didn't come off an Australian player. There's the 3 from Pontejos.
Oh, almost dragged the foot. Bernardino, Cabin Ben, Over to Bernardino, little pump fake. Oh, beautiful pass inside and cabin bin. Nice play from Bernardino.
Well, the Filipinos have come out and just really taken it to the Australian team. Good to see. Ooh, that might be a, you know, Ebzery's lucky here because she's followed through. She knows she's got fouled and she's reacted, and she looks a little.
I think you're right, Mick. I mean, I think Ebzery is.
There's definite elbow swung here from Ebzery. She's okay. There's a little shaken up. And left shoulder, I think it is.
Well, she caught something in the mouth, is what it was.
Okay, yeah.
Perhaps understandable. She might lash out a little bit. Oh, look at Lana Smith. Just didn't finish.
Never got squared up, did she? Just shooting over her shoulder, really.
Cabin bin again. Beautiful pass. And this time it's Lim, and Olof Lang has seen enough. He is going to call a timeout. He might have a few choice words for the Opals. He doesn't look too happy over there.
You know, in the last 3 points from Pontegos, I think you could just hear on the microphone, you got to close out, and that's what the way the Australians have come out in the second half. They're 45 points up at the break. They've come out a little relaxed, and the lead's back to 40.
The scoreline probably wouldn't tell you, but these are really interesting games because they come in the middle of a tournament, and you want your team just to play the game the right way, to execute for Australia. And for the Philippines, it's the same thing. And in the longer term, you just have to ask yourselves the question, are we going to get better if we play teams like Australia? Or are we better off playing against lesser teams? And I think the answer is you've got to play as good a teams as you can play. The only way you're going to get better is if you play great teams.
I agree, but I think you have to. You play teams within your level too. You know, it's always, you say it's always good to get a good beating now and again. But if they were to take 50-point beatings every time they play, they're not necessarily getting challenged.
But they can look back at this video, and aside from the size issue, you know, they will be able to dissect how Australia played this game and say, we need to do this. We can do this. Look at how Blitzhouse put the ball on the court and drove to the basket. She could have passed. She could have settled for the jumper. Look at how they make the extra pass often.
4 yellow shirts after that defensive rebound, and Ebzery off to the races too.
And that's where the Philippines didn't really work it that well. They just settled for the quick jumper. And Blitzhouse again. This time she was short. And that goes off Australia and back over to the Philippines.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. Good ball movement, good fast break. Blitzhoff's getting a fair share of shots this second half, or the third quarter. She must have shot 5 times already.
Cabin Ben's pass almost, could not collect it. Animam, it goes back over. You don't like to turn the ball over in that fashion. And Maddie Garrett comes back in for Ebzery.
Oh, terrible pass, terrible execution, Jeff. Just, you know, a pass waiting to get intercepted. The cut up high by Garrick was slow, not timed correctly.
Well, Blitzhouse goes baseline, and she feeds Koenig. Nice play that time by the Opals.
And you know what? Mansfield will pay the price for that pass too, because I think Tessa Levy's just going to come in and sub her out. Just what you didn't want coming out of a timeout.
Lim over to Animam. Pontejos. And her pass might have been intercepted by Koenig. She couldn't quite control it. And watch the steal. And just read the telegraph pass, and Bernardino took it all the way.
You know, it's an offense that a lot of teams run. The point guard goes one side and the cut up to the top, but it's so dangerous if it's intercepted because there's no help at all. He's giving up a straight layup.
Miranda put up the air ball right at the end of the shot clock. Look at, again, Blitzov says, I got the lane, I'm going to take it, but she was fouled before the shot.
Jeff, I guarantee we'll see games this week where that's an and one, because the Blitzov was going into a 1-2 as she was fouled.
Well, she's listed as a power forward. You know, we're not seeing Mariana Tolo today. I think it's because of the calf problem that she came into this tournament with. So the likes of Blitzovs and getting more minutes. Garrick's long one short.
Yeah, a lot of pressure on that shot from Garrick. Probably ill-advised, but
another pass, and the easy one missed by Lynn. Now the pass to Blitzovs and finds Garrick for an easy one.
What a great break. Good outlet from Levy. I'm not sure she saw Blitzov to begin with, but once the pass was down there, great run from Garrick.
And the drive and the miss, and
the
Hodges.
chance here is Blitzov again on the break. Levy wants to run half court.
Hands it off to Garrick. Nice patience by the Opals, and Hodges follows up the shot, and then on the box out, the foul by the Philippines.
Interesting, Alice Kunek had the mismatch of guarded by Tongo the whole time. Here's the break. One dribble from Blitzov's all she needs, and then sees Garrick. Great Kunek post, although she took the pain for it. Looked like a shot to the back of the head there from on Alice Kunek.
So the two primary aims for the Opals: get to the FIBA Women's Basketball World Cup in Spain, which they would do if they get a top 4 finish, and then to win it.
What do you think they'll be more happy with, Jeff? World Cup or winning the trophy?
Well, I think winning the trophy, because that means they would also qualify for the World Cup. It's almost unimaginable that they wouldn't be there, isn't it? Garrick misses. You know, in the old days they had to be.
I guess my point is it more valuable for Australia to win this and be engraved as champion for the entirety of life, or to qualify for the World Cup? Nice move there from Tonko. My feeling is the qualification for the World Cup is #1.
Yeah, but I don't know that they'd be welcome back at the airport if they didn't win this thing, if you know what I mean.
Oh, absolutely.
Look at the drive. That's no disrespect to the competition, but the expectation levels are high in Australia.
Yeah.
Look at the reverse.
Got an offensive foul right down the other end of the floor, Jeff. I'm not sure what happened, but it went against Stephanie Cumming. The referee's now explaining what happened. All I can imagine is Cummings pushed a defender, and the referee just picked it out. But it was the ball was down one end and the foul was down the other. You don't often see that.
And Sambile. Kunek goes up for another board. But it's not going to be straightforward for Australia. You know there are going to be a couple of tough games awaiting this team. Levy. And offensive rebound. Kunek misses with the putback. 2.5 minutes to go in the third. Sambile, the lefty, good!
Yeah, nice work from Sambile. She had a nice jump shot the first half. Just as typical for Philippines, they won't score from about 2 or 3 feet in, but they'll penetrate deep and kick out.
And then Cummings kind of fumbles it away, but it was a little bit of contact. So the foul called.
I think Sambila's got the foul. Little bump as Cummings went through. You just see how Cummings got that foul. We've got it on replay, but it may not be because it was so far away from play. 2 shots to come here for Stephanie Cumming. I think that's it's only the 4th team foul. No, it is the 5th. There should be shots, I think.
Just imagine You know, looking ahead to next year, the team, there's going to be a lot of competition for spots for the Australians to get, if they do qualify, which we expect they will, to get into the squad that'll play at the FIBA Women's World Cup, Basketball World Cup. And just also imagine what this experience will do for Alana Smith going back to Stanford next year, and all these players when they go back to their WNBL clubs. They'll be better players, aren't they?
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. You know, you've got the whole training program you've gone through to get here. Nice move there.
Oh!
The foul is against the Filipino player. This will be interesting to see.
And
watch it. Here we go. Here we go. What happened?
Oh, did she pull her down after she fell?
She did indeed.
Smith. She looked like, are you going to call that?
And result ties giving up 2 free throws to you. That's again something I've never seen before. Going in for a layup, and as you come down for the layup, you pull the defender down. That's worth another look, maybe. I don't know. The 2 shots for Alana Smith.
So Resultat goes out of the game. Australia, don't think they'll get to the century mark here before the end of the quarter. Smith misfires. And Tessa Levy reaches in, then passes up to Cumming. Is she going to beat the cabin bin? Yes, she is, but then cabin bin reaches in and fouls Cumming.
Nice play from Cumming. You know, she knew she was going to get hit. It was ideal territory.
She knew it was coming.
Yeah, exactly.
Didn't she? Here you go. And boy, yeah, she took her right arm off there.
And Cabin bin sportingly offered her hand to pick her up. I like that. No point making enemies, Jeff, in a 36, 44-point blowout.
You caught a glimpse of Tolo and Belinda Snell over there at the end of the bench watching. The team goes up by 25. Bernardino gets it right in there.
Everything looked good except for the finish, didn't it? Got in there, penetration, little Euro step.
Maddie Garrett, they called a double dribble. I was wondering if they were going to call it. Didn't look quite right, but then I thought maybe they had knocked it out of her hands.
I can't believe Garrick actually tried it. Maybe she should have forgot she did dribble the ball. Must have done.
Penetration drive and the basket good by Bernardino. Goes baseline.
Beautiful move. Little flick of the wrist up on the backboard and the correct amount of spin.
She's picked it up here in the third quarter. Cumming. Her pass batted out by Castro.
A nice help side defense from Claire Castro. Just stood her ground. She knew the cut was coming.
First of 4 games today here at the FIBA Asia Women's Cup. FIBA Women's Asia Cup. Now Levy whips it to Cumming and put up the air ball, and then Alana Smith missed with the putback.
Well, I see a couple of those today. Hadn't she? Little easy little chippies. Can't get them to go down.
And beautiful move there from the Philippines.
Well, they're making a game of it, that is for sure.
That was D, the guard.
Yeah.
18 seconds to go in the third quarter.
Fouls on Sambili, I think, Jeff, just getting a bit too close to Maddie Garrick. Maddie Garrick gave that look to the referee as if to say she might have thought it might have been her foul.
You look at Claire Castro, she's 20 years of age. She's 1.93 meters in height. That's 6'4". And yeah, she's a player that could really help the Philippines a lot.
That's what it's all about, isn't it? Bringing young players through, put them in tournaments like this, develop them, go back and put a skill-based program together. And make sure you've got a tough domestic league. Tough shot.
Oh, ball rimmed out. Looked like it was in for Cabin Ben. So Australia, after 3 quarters, they go to the bench, leading it 89-46 over the Philippines. Well, 1 more quarter to go here. Australia not really easing up, but we did see some good things for the Philippines in the 3rd quarter. They had 23 points, actually. They outscored Australia.
They doubled their score, didn't they? 23 at the break. 46 now, yeah.
So Australia 10 minutes away from going ahead and going to 2-0. And tomorrow they will have a game against the 2-time defending champions Japan, albeit one without Ramu Takashiki.
That'll be a better game for them. That'll be probably the best test they've got so far. I don't think Korea are as good as Japan, so I think Australia-Japan will be a good little matchup tomorrow.
It'll be interesting to get the thoughts of Aquino after the game, see what he says, what it was like playing against Australia, and how this tournament is going for Philippines. I think they've actually played better than they played yesterday. Now that they've just had that 3rd quarter, they have to sustain it, keep it going. And Animam just kind of lost control of it as she got into the lane. So Mansfield has checked into the game, and Blitzovs as well is back in. Look at Mansfield just get in, missed the layup.
Everything correct. Was a little turn of pace on the wing, going in for the layup, and then just didn't quite get the measure of these rims.
And Animam tries to score with the reverse. Quickly to Blitzovs, and she will go to the line for an and 1.
Nice pass. You know, the obvious choice for Mansfield was to keep going because the middle of the floor was wide open. See the middle of the floor open? That pass was a difficult pass to get through, but Blitzov, with her strength, just finished off the 3-point play.
And the ball will go the other way to the Philippines, so she misses the extra one. I think Philippines tomorrow, they will have that game against Korea. Interesting to see if they have already.
Well, I'll be honest with you, Jeff,
well,
it'll be an easier affair than this one, that's for sure. But the Koreans will be not easy to play against.
And the jump shot is good, coming.
A nice play from Blitzov too. For the number of shots she's made today, just quite happy to get it inside, draw the defense, and kick it out.
Overshoots at Bakunek there for the rebound.
Nice play from Ebsary too. Little hesitation off that dribble, so valuable as a dribbler when you come off a pick and roll. The ability to change pace slightly and go from slow to quick just catches the defense that especially should be slower than yourself on that pick and roll.
And
wow.
a three-pointer from Blitzov showing.
Alice Kunek frustrated because she had the mismatch down low. She was begging to be given the ball. I'm not sure she scored much tonight, Kunek, so I'm not sure she needs to feel the love as far as getting the balls.
Lim floats in, nice jumper. Mansfield bumped, hands it off, and Ebzery. Watch this. This is Blitzov's. Ooh, had the foot on the line. You could see.
19 points for Sarah Blitzov. Played a good game today. 8 of 15 in total.
Tonko goes out of the game after committing the foul. Kunek drives in, and Cavenbin reaches in and takes it away. Good hustle from Cumming to knock the pass away.
And smart running from Cumming too. She knew exactly where the open man was on the far side there and just headed for it. And the pass went there, got deflection. It's called intelligent basketball, Jeff.
Blitzov's with the rebound quickly, gets into fast break mode. Now it's Cumming. Oh, nice feed to Kunek, but didn't finish.
Kunek was pushed in the back big time. Didn't complain much. Blitzov has got this foul, hasn't she? 15 yet. Just holding on to her opponent as she kept cut through the lane.
And the shot is missed.
Oh, what hustle from the Philippines. They're just, they're going to keep batting right to the end.
Look at the hustle from Lim, can't quite save it.
Comical moment there from Sarah Blitzov. The ball went out of bounds. She looked at it rolling away and then looked at the referee as if to say who's going to go and get it. And the referee gave her a look back, you get it. Foul there from Bernardino, just as Blitzov was cutting through the lane.
So Animum is going to come out.
6:40 to go, Jeff. 96 on the board. You're going to get about 120 with the Australians, you think?
I think so. Maybe not. Depends, really. Execution at this end. Blitzov's to Kunek this time, and great read from Resultai. Takes it away. Sagged in to help out. Cavenbin. Oh. Pontejos might take that shot, but the right play indeed.
Nice play. You know, nice play, draw the defense. You know, unfortunately for Alice Kunek, she's overguarded in the post, and there you go, get that shot off for you. She's very frustrated, Kunek, I think.
That last basket was Almathon from the Philippines. Seen some bright moments from this Filipino team today on this end of the floor. And Cavenbin puts it off the back of the iron.
You know, Sarah Blitzov, Jeff, 19 points, 8 rebounds now, 6 assists.
And Garrick is short, and again, a chance to run for the Philippines. Resultai is going to pull up, and she's going to rip the cords. Beautiful basketball from the Philippines, and that's going to bring a timeout.
Another timeout
from the
Australia, because, you know, Olaf Long is just not happy at all, is he?
You know, as the teams go to the benches, it's interesting. The Basketball Australia have just announced their men's team for the Asia Cup, And I think the Philippines will be interested in this as well. There's Filipino fans watching because their men's team will be playing the Philippines in the World Cup qualifiers, which will be in November. And I'm guessing that a lot of these guys would figure into that. And it looks like a very good Australian team with David Anderson. Brad Newley is back in the mix after missing the Olympics. But then you've got some really interesting players. Todd Blanchfield, Angus Brandt, Jason Cady, Mitchell Creek, Cam Glidden, Matthew Hodgson, Nicholas Kay. And how about Daniel Kickert, who played in that Australian team that was coached by Brian Gorshin back in 2006 at the FIBA Basketball World Cup in Japan, which was, for me, the greatest ever World Cup. That was fantastic. Mitch McCarron and also Mitch Norton.
So very much an NBL team, huh?
Yeah, but that's what they knew it was going to be an NBL team, effectively. So, and again, the strength of Australian basketball is they've got a very good pool of players.
Absolutely, absolutely.
So the Australian women looking to put the finishing touches on this, but the Philippines are showing
so Jeff, tell
a
me,
nice fighting spirit.
Is that a men's team that can qualify?
Oh, absolutely. That's a men's team that I'm guessing will probably go in as the favorites to win it, but we shall see. China might have something to say about that. Now an offensive foul. What was that? Resultai has gone down hard. Watch, here it is. See what happened.
It's Sarah Blitzoff just with her arm. Watch. Nothing much in that. Just don't get too close to me, she says.
Yeah, just fighting for space.
Yep, absolutely.
Or establishing position, maybe another way to put it. And Cabot misses with a short jumper. Garrick dribbles with her head up, hands it off to the point guard. Mansfield, beautiful pass, but swatted. Great play defensively by Almathon. And now it's Pontejo for the three.
Well, the Philippines have got it under 40, Jeff. 38-point lead. I think they've won this fourth quarter as well, haven't they? They won the third.
They've outscored Australia right now by 7 points here in the second half. Mansfield gets in for the layup. That was not a good shot from the Philippines. From Bernardino. Cumming can't control it.
That's a shame too. It's a great pass from Blitzoff. Cumming, I thought, had it in two hands.
So Blitzoff leads the scoring with 19. Tessa Levy back in, and Mansfield takes the seat. Mansfield goes to the bench. She's got 10 points, 4 assists. So Tessa Levy comes back in having scored 3 points and collected a couple of assists.
Interesting, Jeff, that
look at this play.
Well, it's the block, you see, and interesting to come to this because Kunek's just gone to the bench. I don't know if Long has gone to Kunek and just explained, why did you get it blocked? What was happening? Because you're going up with your left hand, it's being blocked. You've got up with the correct hand, but it's been blocked. So something's not quite with the way Alice Kunek's reading the game right now. She looks frustrated out there. She's not quite getting the passes where she wants it. And obviously that block shot was obviously just killed it a little more for her.
Now we're looking at the Australian bench, but just with respect to the Philippines, I think you got to really tip your hat to Pontejos. She's got 16 points. I mean, she has shot the ball extremely well. She's 5 of 8 from the floor and 4 of 5 from three-point range. She shot it well yesterday, and she's come back today and really drilled.
Well, Jeff, what's the halftime score? The second half score. You said the Philippines are winning the second half. You're up by 40 first half and you lose the second half. That doesn't happen. That shows you that this Australian team has come out with a little bit of a relaxed mindset.
Well, Australia trailing by 5 if you just look at the second half.
Yeah.
But I think it's more of a testament to the Philippines for the way they've just
agreed
playing.
Still, that you should not be losing the second half. I mean, that means that all things being equal, Philippines could win the game.
Good drive from Amathon, being aggressive. And Smith just reached up and got the block.
And one of them better if the game was played again. If you win the second half by 5, you can win the first half by 5. But it's not. There's no way that could happen. It's just a relaxed effort from this Australian team this second half.
Cabin drives in, misses. And now Tessie Levy. Australia, will they get to the 100 mark here on this possession? Garrick, to close her out, so she steps in, and there it is, folks. The century mark, the big 100.
I'd say Maddie Garrick,
the 10 times 10.
Off the dribble, looks as smooth as anybody in this tournament. Just a very, very good shooter off that dribble.
Bernardino drives in. I think she could have passed to Cabin, elected to take it. I think she'd make the pass if she had it back. Nice pass, Levy to Blitzovs. So looking at Blitzovs there, she's would appear to have a big future with this team. Did play at the Olympic test event last year, I think. I know she played in the Oceania Women's Championship in 2015. And also for Australia at the Under-19 World Championship back in 2011, Under-17s in 2010. So often it doesn't happen immediately for these youngsters trying to crack that Opals lineup. Nice drive from Pontejos.
A little jump of joy from Pontejos. The ball just dropped in. That was an exciting little move. Fake the handoff.
So yeah, Blitzovs did go to the test event in Brazil, but didn't make the Olympic squad. And now you got Tonko. And that ball is short. And the basket is good from Lim.
Well, they just kept pegging away, haven't they? Just kept the pressure up the whole time.
Yeah, you got to really like the approach of the Philippines here in the second half. They didn't hang their heads, facing that huge deficit after that poor second half to the second quarter. They've come out swinging.
Well, they had 23 at the break. Now they've got 39 points the second half.
Now Matty Garrick, and the ball goes out of bounds. Kunek argued that a Filipino player touched it.
Jeff, I can see what the Australians are trying to do. They're trying to run through an offense, but when you're trying to deliberately run through an offense, you then lack the ability to look for instincts to score. You're looking to pass the ball more than score the ball. And the instinct for every player, the first thing you do is look at the basket. Can I score from here? No, you know before you catch the ball you can't score, but they're going through phases here where they're just passing up shots, passing up opportunities to dump it inside quickly.
Good execution. Hindi po pwedeng takap na kayo. Kailangan after you drop this season. Okay? Hindi po pwedeng galaw kayo na sa one.
So this is a good finish really for the Philippines as they head into their last game against Korea. And you know a lot of it depends also on what happens with Korea today, how they're going to approach it tomorrow. But you know, I mean, it's
they can take so much from this game, the second half especially. They can take so much confidence from this. They know that they're coming out right now with smiles on their faces with minute 40 to go. They're 40 down, but my word, the second half, they've won the second half so far.
But right in the paint, turn around, seal the shit. 1, 2, 3.
So 40-point lead for Australia, but we knew they were going to be, we projected them to be decisive winners, and they will be after that convincing first half performance. But you have to tip your hat to the Philippines, who have actually won this second half. And I suppose if you're Coach Aquino, you want to latch onto something positive from this game, and that's what it would be. Oh, and that was just uncalled for from Lim. Absolutely uncalled for. You can't play basketball like that on a fast break with a two-handed shove. Unsportsmanlike is right, and I mean they can take
two hands.
Absolutely.
I saw the
Watch
trip.
this. Watch this. She will right here.
Oh yeah. Wow. Oh my goodness.
And then you go to help her up. Let me shove you down.
Yeah.
Hard. And I'm, and this is, and we saw the reaction from Ebsary a couple of times, and this is why you get reactions like that. I mean, there's no place like that. There's no place on the basketball court for that type of play.
No, absolutely not. That's shocking. She's lucky to still be in the game.
Yeah, absolutely. So 104-62, Australia will maintain possession with the unsportsmanlike foul coming. And the dish down low to Alana Smith. And good pressure, good defense from the Philippines.
You know, one thing, you got to go up and score that. You're getting bumped around. You're going to expect it. You got to go up and try and shoot that. You can't just be tossing it out.
So that bad play aside from the Philippines, they still had a good second half. And Kevin Vin pulls up with the line and hits the jumper.
Well, that ability to just shake and bake and just pull up and hit a jump shot is style for Philippines, that's for sure.
Alana Smith, and this time she must have heard you, Mick. She stuck with it this time. And she said, this one's going in.
Well, she was getting bumped by Lim. He was given the rough treatment. Watch this from Lim. Just little push here, there, everywhere. Just.
I mean, to be fair with Lim, couldn't do any better there than what she did.
Good footwork though from Smith.
So Smith takes it up to 107-64. We thought the way this game was going early that Australia might get up into the 130s, 140s, maybe even 150s.
Yeah, it just shows you how, I wouldn't say flat. Things haven't gone their way this second half.
Oh, nice play by Lim, penetrating, and Kunuk slid in too late. Let's be clear about this. We've seen a lot more good things from Lim in this game than bad in this second half, and that was a strong move there, and the reward is a trip to the free throw line. So a lot to be proud of for the Philippines as they've really dug in here in the second half and been Australia's equals, if not superiors. Yeah, they've still outscored them by 3 points here in the second half. Now Garrett puts it up, and Kunuk there for the offensive rebound. May have been pushed. And Australia still get it back. So the final 5 seconds ticking off the clock, and maybe Australia just going to hold on to it. But you got to tip your hat to the Philippines, really, for that approach overall in the second half. They stuck with it. They played hard. They may have been annoying for the Australians, but you know what? You're not going to be your best friends out there.
No, exactly right. And credit to the Philippines. They pushed them the second half and made a really good game of it. Surprisingly so, but that's not a bad scoreline for them.
107-65. Australia win it to go to 2-0. Philippines drop to 0-2. So for Australia today, strong performance from several players. A lot of the damage, most of the damage done perhaps in the first half. Sarah Blitzovs led the way with 21 points, 8 rebounds. Also came up with 4 steals. Always like to see that well-rounded line. And 18 points for Cumming, who was terrific. 14 for Ebzery. 12 for Alana Smith, along with her 7 rebounds, 4 assists, 1 block. She just does a little bit of everything, doesn't she? And for the Philippines, well, you have to talk about Pontejos. Finished with 18 points, 4 of 6 from the arc, 6 of 10 overall. And the other player that was in double figures for them was Lim. She had 11 points and was 5 of 12 from the floor. So all in all, as expected, we knew the win would, pretty much knew the win would go for Australia. They did get the win. And we knew the Philippines, what we didn't know is if the Philippines would really come out and fight hard in the second half. And I think they pretty much answered that question. They made a real nuisance of themselves. And that's a performance to build on, Mick.
Oh, absolutely. I think that will give them so much confidence going into tomorrow's game. I think the Koreans are a difficult opposition, but there's a chance that Philippines could pull off a victory. The way they play, obviously the one element of the game they lack is in the rebounding close to the hoop, but they put some shots together today that surprised me. Second half they played a great game, and all credit to them.
So it's sort of hard to gauge Australia really after that game. Perhaps easier after the first win, but what would you say, having watched China play against New Zealand and Australia after a couple of games?
You know, it's going to come down to one game, isn't it? I can see Australia getting through to the quarterfinal stage, no problem at all. That's not going to be a problem for them. And then obviously winning the quarterfinal, I should say. Semi-final, they'll have a tough game, whoever it's going to be. But the final, if it's going to be as you'd expect form to pull through, it'll be the Australia-China game. And there's no talent. There's not much between the two teams, put it that way. I see China playing tough. Australia will always play tough. But what we saw yesterday, there's 2 equal teams right there.
So we've got a lot more action coming your way today. The Philippines, Australia, that was the first game of the day, won decisively by Australia, but the Philippines giving a good account of themselves, especially in the second half. Next up will be the Democratic People's Republic of Korea, who were the hard luck losers yesterday against Chinese Taipei. They will be going up against the New Zealand Tall Ferns, who we fully expected a lot more yesterday. A lot of that has to do with how good China were, but we know that, or at least we expect, New Zealand to have a lot more fight in them, and this is a must-win for them and also for their opponents. So we're at the FIBA Asia Women's Cup in Bengaluru, India. It's day 2 of this event, and Australia improved to 2-0. The Philippines fall to 0-2. Thanks for watching. A lot more basketball to come your way.